I'm known for making friends everywhere I go in the restaurants. I'll be with my kids. They'll go, Mom, you got to talk to everybody. So, yeah.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today. We have the one and only Donna Johnson. Hey, Donna, are you ready to make it happen?
Oh, Simon, it's so good to be here. Thank you.
Donna Johnson was a mother of 5 kids and working as a swim coach before she got started in network marketing. She had no college degree, but has been one of the top income earners worldwide in the last 36 years. Donna credits her faith and the Holy Spirit for guiding her through her entrepreneurial journey. And she just finished writing her book, My Mentor Walks on Water, which is available on April 4th, 2023, and something you definitely want to check out. Donna was also, and this is something I'm forever grateful, is one of the first leaders that featured on MLM Nation back in 2015 when she appeared on episode 7. And Donna doesn't even know the story, but when I launched MLM Nation, I know these leaders are really, really busy. They're like, who the heck is this Simon Chan? But I said, if I'm going to launch the show, I need to start with a bang. And look, I just don't want I want big name leaders who are established, been around for decades, not to make her sound old, but really have a strong, huge credibility. And Donna was one of the top 10 people out of thousands of leaders. I had to get Donna Johnson. And I remember messaging her out of the blue on Facebook. She didn't know what the heck I was. She was sort of a scam, but just through consistent follow-up, Donna agreed. I still remember that episode, that recording, as it was last month. So Donna, thank you for trusting me back in 2015. It's great to have you back on the show. There's so many things I want to ask you, but why don't you share your background? Either share with everyone at MLM Nation your background and how did you ended up in network marketing?
Well, I was so grateful to be number 7. Thank you. I love 7.
And you would have been number 1.
Number.
And you would have been a number 1, but it was like we recorded 6 people got back to me earlier. So you had to, because you thought I was a scam.
No. So I started this. A lot of people don't know this about me because I've been with my current company for 36 years, but I started in network marketing in my teen years. I've been in network marketing for over 40 years. I was a swim coach. I was a secretary. You'll read about this in my book. And of course, I know how involved you are, Simon, with your boys and sports. And when you coach swimming, and I did it on the YMCA, high school, and even university level as an assistant coach on university, you don't do it for the money. You do it for the love of the sport and the kids. And there's always too much month at the end of the money. So I think it was 17 or 18, I went to a direct sell party. And I said to my friend, you mean you make money doing this? This looks like so much fun. So I started in more of a party plan business for a few years and really excelled because I just took those same skills that made me successful in swimming. I wasn't anything special as a swimmer, but I just worked harder. I trained more and had a great mindset. And I just knew if I put those skills in my business, I could just rock it. And then I just started, this is all pre-computers, you guys. So it was dark 100. And I just started discovering that there was more. So that's when I found my current company that was more of a multi-level compensation plan. And I loved it. I found a home, been there ever since. Doesn't mean it's perfect. There's always ups and downs. But I'm just so happy to be a part of this profession.
Why do most people struggle when they get started, but you did not?
I think the stigma of the business, and I think we have to do a better job of sharing how amazing this business is. Instead of being on the defense, I think we need to be on the offense. In fact, I was just asked to lead the Ethics and Standards Committee of the ANMP, and you'll read a concept in my book called red light, yellow light, green light. And I never used to follow these formulas until I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And then I realized this was God showing me the process to say yes to something. And I immediately wanted to say, no, I don't want to do that. That's like a hot potato. Who wants to lead the ethics committee? And God just kept pushing me into the green light. And I realized that the reason he's pushing me in the green light is he wants to help me help the profession get better at talking about who we are, because we have the best gig in town, you guys. We have the best. I'm sorry, I hate to brag, and I know there's probably got to be disclaimers around this, but I think we have the most brilliant compensation plan. I've been able to raise my 5 children, live where I've wanted, work when I've wanted. I mean, I don't know anything. I just am so grateful for this profession. And here we are trying to dodge the bullet and say we're not who we are. I remember sitting in the airport one time after I joined my current company. And like I said, my other company was more party plan, more direct selling. It didn't had a little bit of multi-level income to it, but not much. And I was sitting next to a woman that was in another company that I know pays on multiple levels. And when I was edifying her and congratulating her, and saying, oh, isn't this just a wonderful profession? Don't you love it? Isn't MLM amazing? And I love that you have MLM Nation on your shirt. And she looked at me like I had cancer. And she said, oh, I'm not a part of MLM. And I said, oh, I am so sorry. I thought you were. I am so sorry. I am so sad. Do you have a team? And she said, oh, yes. And she told me about her big team. And I said, I am so sorry that you don't get paid on your team. And she said, well, yes, I do. And I said, you mean if you have a team that sponsors a team and builds and this beautiful growing organization, you get paid on it? She said, yes. And I said, well, congratulations. You are in MLM. So I think that there's too many people that aren't on the offense and sharing how exciting this business is. And so that's where I want to make a difference, and just help steer the ship. There's a lot happening in our profession, and we need to stay the course. A lot of people are surprised that, how could you stay with your company for 36? Well, why not? I mean, there's no perfect, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you brought a great point. Be on offense, because I think if you, and one of my mentors taught me this, if anyone ever asked you, are you an MLM? Say, yes, absolutely. Right? It's like how you answer it. You have to answer with confidence, because if you're not confident, or you have like the woman in the airport, then people can feel that. Like, why are you not proud of it? And I think that's something we definitely need to work better.
And then now this was decades ago. So that adds to the lack of credibility in our business. When people in the business are trashing their own compensation model, Houston, we have a problem, right? And here we are decades later, still struggling to find our way in that with the FTC, with the regulators, with our owners, with our C-suite corporate leaders, with ourselves. Do we even say we're a part of direct sales network marketing? I'm like, yes, it's the best gig in town.
How have you seen the industry change in the last, let's say the last 8 years? I can't believe it's been 8 years since your episode 7. So how have you seen the industry change?
Distractions, social media, shiny pennies, hype, more hype. I think there's been hype, but it's more visible on all the different social media platforms. People want to bypass the journey and be an instant influencer. I talk about in chapter 11, community influencers. Did you know, Simon, that in China, they, of course, that's where TikTok is originated. They give Chinese teenagers the spinach version of TikTok. They give the rest of the world the crack version of TikTok. So when you interview a 14-year-old in China and ask them what they want to be when they grow up, because they get science experiments, they get education, TikTok, the number one answer what they want to be when they grow up is they want to be an astronaut. But when you ask the average 14-year-old in the US what they want to be an influencer. They want to be 12 years old, do a reel, become famous, and make money. And so I think we're in an instant gratification world where you get a blue check based on you get fame based on your blue check rather than the content of your character. And so I think that's been the biggest negative change. Along with that negative change, there's been positive changes, because obviously in the old days, I just was talking to someone that I'm enrolling in my business last night. She's 29, young, and I was telling her my story, and I said, I could be your mama, honey, but let me tell you how we used to do it. My kids would line up and we pack bags and they'd drive around, and I'd have a university in the back seat with them listening to Jim Rohn. And so my kids got the best education with me being in network marketing. And I said, when you start your business, all your customers, they order directly. It's so beautiful. So with the good things about technology has come some of the bad things. And I think it's our job just to understand that and be a part of the solution, to focus on the offense, focus on the good things. I don't like to pay attention and like and comment on the flashy, gross posts that I see, and I don't. But what I edify is people are hurting right now, right? Yeah. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see, all the braggadocio. People are hurting. They want authenticity. They want real. And so I think that's what we can do to really forward our profession as the great vehicle that it is.
Yeah, you're a mother of 5, and for me, I have my 3 boys, and this is almost like a public service announcement to any parents out there. Like I think social media is a great tool for growing your business, but could also be a great curse, right? And especially with the TikTok, the Instagram reels, like you said about China, I think a lot of people probably don't even know this, that the kids, number one, see things different. Their feed is different. So they're protected from all this stuff. And also they have like a limit of like an hour and a half a week. If you go over an hour and a half a week, the parents actually get in trouble from the people enforce the Communist Party, whatever, because they want to protect the youth. So something must not be good if they're protecting the kids that way. Well, here, and it's ironic, my son on his baseball team, he's like almost 12. The kids who have phones, who are always on TikTok, they tend to be the ones who the least successful and most distracted. And, if they're watching this, they're probably not watching this podcast, but their parents watching this, I'm like, what are you doing to your kid? Because
and a disclaimer here, we don't need the government to limit that. We need parents to step in.
Exactly. Yes. And it's the one that you say all these shiny little pennies, but it's the one who stays focused that will win. Right. So how do you be an influencer? You talk about these people who want to be this quote unquote influencer, but obviously you've created a lot of influence. How can you be a real influencer?
Right. I don't think you can skip the process of building your character and your experience. And so you'll start out being an influencer in your inner circle. And then as your business grows and your influence grows, you can have more of a global presence. So it starts small. I always say your story begins at home, right? Who do you want speaking at your funeral? What if your children didn't even show up to your funeral, but all of your business associates were just bragging about how wonderful you were? That's not success in life. So I think that what creates true influence is having balance in every area of your life and let it flow organically. Yes, there's all kinds of great tools out there that can give you more exposure, but make sure that you show up as to who you are and not this fake life, because that's not real. And people are figuring it out. They want real. They want authentic. Our world has gone through so much junk the last few years and lies and all kinds of things. And people are pulling their heads out and they're waking up and going, why have I allowed, these influences on me? Who am I? And that's chapter 1 of my book. Who am I? And how does God see me? And when you just kind of wake up out of the fog, and you will have a platform, because if you do the right thing in the right way for the right reason, like the very first thing I said to Alyssa last night when I was prospecting her, I said, I want to find out about you because this may be a fit for you. It may not be. And tell me about what you're looking for. Tell me what your needs are. And it was just such a beautiful conversation, organically done. I didn't have to try to trick her or promise anything. I teach my team under promise and over deliver. We don't have to hype, because our product and business model and opportunity and our community. Oh, that's one of the best things, Simon. People want to be a part of a community that is like-minded and supportive of each other, edifying each other, not running each other down or creating jealousies. They love this community of support that we have. So when you genuinely have a product, and when I talk about product, I'm not just talking about the product. I'm talking about the compensation plan. I'm talking about the community. I'm talking about the personal growth. When you have something like that adds value and stands out in this world, if you give it time and if you're consistent, you don't want to be, Simon, don't we always say in this business, this is what we want our business to look like, but this is what our business looks like. We just have to stay consistent. And I think that's one of the things I did from my swimming career was I just got back in the pool. So if it's a field like your boys, you get back on the field or the court or whatever it is. You just show up. And I think in today's world, too many people are giving up when it starts getting hard. And guess what? To be successful, you must do hard things and you will survive. In fact, I don't know, drum roll. Actually, some of our very best teaching moments are in those wilderness moments that we have. So when we want to be a victim, or we want to throw in the towel, because this profession, we don't have someone hovering over us like punching a clock and a boss. So you can literally knock yourself out of the business for hours, days, and weeks and months and years at a time.
I want to go back to what you said. As an influencer, show up for who you are. What about if someone said, well, I'm not like you, Donna. You know what? I'm in debt. I haven't had any success yet. Why would someone follow me? Because I can't be pretty. I can't be like that. If I did that, I'd be fake. So how does someone like that show up?
Me. I mean, nobody becomes an instant success. So everybody has to. Richard Brooke does the most amazing training on really carving your 2-minute story that's authentic. When I started my business, and there was, too much month at the end of the money, I didn't go out there and tell people I was broke. I didn't tell them I was rich. Guess what I told them? I told them how excited I was about my business and product. And if they asked how I'm doing, I didn't lie or create a fake check or tell somebody else's story. I didn't have anybody else's story back then. I just said, I really believe in this and I'm going to be successful. And right now, I'm earning a nice little income that's supplementing my secretary income. It's supplementing my coaching income. But I know that I have plans for that business and income to grow. So I think we have to be less concerned about our answer. People don't need to see instant success. They need to see an honest story, because people, if they join and they have, obstacles, they're going to go, oh yeah, Donna told me that's kind of how it works. Right. But if we feel this pressure to always hype and not tell the truth about this business, we're only hurting ourselves.
So maybe you can talk a little bit about your faith, because like if someone, like you said, belief, right? I believe this is going to help me, but you keep encountering challenges. No one is joining. No one's looking at your presentation. How do you maintain that? Like maybe going back to where you were, like you had no experience. How do you maintain that faith and the belief?
Yeah. So for me, it's through prayer and seeking God's will for my life. Kind of like my red light, yellow light, green light story. Is this, I want to be obedient. Number one, somebody asked me, how did your book happen? I was not writing a book, Simon. You will read it in the introduction. I was not writing a book. It was complete obedience. And so when we have that prayer life and walking in his will, it we can let go of our plans. You know that old song, Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah.
We just want to drive the wheel. We just want God to bless our plans, but sometimes we have to breathe and go, okay, God, what is your plan? And God has the biggest Rolodex. I will literally lay there and pray and go, Lord, I'm building my business and I feel stuck. I'm running out of names. And I'll just say, give me, and all of a sudden these names will come to me, people I hadn't thought about. And you guys act on those because God has the biggest, best Rolodex out there. And Holy Spirit will prompt you if you let him. We're coming up to Easter and after Jesus rose from the dead and he walked among everyone and then he ascended, he said, I'm going to send a helper. And that helper is the Holy Spirit. And a lot of people don't understand what the Holy Spirit is. And I explain it in my book, and you will understand the power of the Holy Spirit. You will also understand the power of the counterfeit spirit that loves to pretend that it's of God when it's not. And so I think you're going to love, for me, it's really leaning in and staying in obedience. I've seen over the years when I've stepped out of obedience, or I felt a red light from God and I said, no, really, it is a green light. And have you ever tried to convince God that it's a green light? And now I'm learning to surrender and say, okay, I think that one of the hardest experiences for those of us that are high achievers, go, go, go. Thomas always says to me, I make a to-do list, I check it off and I go, go, go. It's one of the things I love to do. I'm high energy. I get things done. One of the hardest things for people like us that are wired like me, the hardest thing is yellow lights. Do you like yellow? If I don't get a direct answer, like somebody brings something to me to do, and I'm not sure, yellow lights drive me crazy. So what I have learned to do with my own yellow lights is I have learned a habit now. And I teach this to other people, and the stories that I'm getting, I just simply say, thank you for asking. Let me pray about that. And I'll get back to you. We're always so quick, and this will help you in your time management. Those of you that feel you don't have any time for your business, it might be because you're just going in every direction with every request given to you. And you're just going green light, green light, green light, green light, green light. And before you know it, you're sitting at the red light of your life in a heap because you're exhausted, you're stressed. And so I just feel like you can get a nice flow in your life if you keep your priorities in order. My business is not my idol. So when people have attacked me for being courageous, one of my favorite quotes is by Billy Graham, your courage strengthens the spine of others. When people say, you're not supposed to talk politics or religion, I said, who made that rule? Because when I check my Holy Bible and I go to scriptures, Jesus talked about politics and religion all the time, right? And so there's this unwritten rule, but in the meantime, the world's religion, like humanism and all that, is just dominating the mountains of our culture, business, media, entertainment, family, education, and so on. I talk about that in my book. So I've had people say to me, you're not supposed to do that. And I said, who said? Well, you're a leader in your business and you're going to turn your customers off. You're going to turn people off. And I said, but I don't answer to people. I answer to one. And if my business was my idol and it was the most important thing in my life, then I would follow that rule. But my business is a tool. My business is a tool that God has gifted me with to help other people. And so I will be obedient to him. Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean that you're called to do that. I was called to be a voice. I was called to do what I did. I would lay in bed crying, praying about it. God, I'm getting attacked. And he's like, I called you. I called you for such time as this. If you don't say it, who will? Right? Because we're being censored in every area. And now it's all coming out. And one of the most amazing parts of my book, don't flash ahead, read it in order, is chapter 6, because what changed my life was a few years ago, I had a vision and a dream, and it changed my life forever. I saw everything happening. I saw things that have been hidden being exposed. It's already happening now. And to this day, that dream that God gave me, I can still see it now. And it's just changed me. It was the catalyst for this book. It wasn't for another year after that dream that God gave me the kingdom assignment. The kingdom assignment. I had someone say, pastors write books about Jesus. Trust me, I had a lot of pastors and editors on this, but we are also called to be a witness. And remember when they were trying to get rid of Goliath, and they were going after all of the big soldiers. They probably would be talking to the pastors, and right. So who did God call? He called a shepherd boy who knew how to sling a rock, right? And so if you are called to step into the mountain that God has placed you on, God has placed me in the business mountain. Okay. And so I have a kingdom assignment to speak into the business mountain of culture, because the enemy has taken it over. The enemy has taken over our education mountain. And look at how parents are going to the school boards and standing up for their kids. Well, boy, I'll tell you what, someone might not stand up for their business, but when a parent gets up there, a mama bear or a daddy bear like you, Simon, you can go after me, you can go after my business, but my kids, that's it.
Yeah. You know what you said about if you talk about religion and then you lose all your customers, right? Not only is your business not your idol, not your religion, but I think that's definitely for me. It's that when you speak who you are, going back to what you said, who you are, if that's what you believe in, you're more bold in that, more courageous, you actually you have better followers, because there are people who, if you're listening to this, whoever you are, there's people exactly like you, and they're waiting for someone to be bold, like the Donna Johnson being bold about her faith, right? You may have lost a couple customers, but you gained way, way more customers. I think, wow, I like Donna, because she's brave enough to speak what I want to speak about. So God bless you for that.
Thank you, Simon.
You said about the product, and I like how you said the community is a part of the product. How do you keep your teams? I mean, you've been with the same company for 36 years. There's up and downs, and your company has some down moments, has some great, great moments. How do you keep the community together?
Oh, the community. I absolutely love our community, and we just have aligned ourselves. I have a group of leaders called Legacy Leaders, and we relationship together. We build systems together. We're better together if we're all trying to figure things out. There's a lot of change right now. We have to make adjustments in a lot of things in our profession. And so instead of us all trying to figure it out on our own, we've united. And so when people feel united and a part of a community, they stick together. And that's what we've done. Instead of scattering and every man for themselves, and let's try to figure this out, we have come together and united. So that's more the core of my top leader level. But then when I look at my core group that I work with, like the Alyssa's, the new girl that I talked to, just they feel a sense of family when they start their business. They feel like they are supported and loved. And we do a getting started process where we do something called personal strategy session, where we find out about them. What are your needs? What do you want? We personalize your business plan, and they feel so supported, valued, recognized, and they just want to be a part of it. And it helps them because, in the early stages of our business, well, we're all putting a lot more compensation in the front end of the plan, which is so great. But those early stages, there's a lot of value to feeling connected while they're waiting for their paycheck to really catch up to their commitment. So community is one of the best products that you have when you are sharing what you have as a business and a product.
Hey, MLM Nation, I don't know if you caught that. I just wrote that down. I love that. While you wait for your paycheck to catch up to your commitment, it's part of the process, right? That's really good. Because at the beginning, that goes back to instant gratification. People want that paycheck to match the commitment, but it doesn't happen that way. You have to wait for it to catch up. Hey, Donna, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. As we go towards the end of the show, some really quick questions to pick your brain, and these can be quick one-liners. The first one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivates you?
If you think you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. I've discovered this from day one in my business. If someone thinks they can't do something, they won't, and none of my talking them into it will change. So if you think you can or you can't, you're right. Think about Jesus when he was walking on the water, and Peter said, "Can I come and join you? Hey, can I come and join you?" Jesus didn't do a motivational speech and a presentation and charts and a video. Guess what he did? He just said, "Come." He just said, "Come." And Peter got out of the boat. So if people think they can or they can't, they're absolutely right.
What's one habit that's helped you become successful?
Consistency. I've always been consistent in my business. And I think that will serve you really well because people can be very manic depressive in their business. They can stop it and start and stop and start and stop and start. I've just always been consistent. Even when I haven't felt like working, I get some things done.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Care less about what other people think of you and seek more to God's will for your life.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? So say you have a qualified prospect. Do you jump on a Zoom with them? Do you send a video first? Do you get on the phone? What do you like to use, Donna?
I ask them. I just did this yesterday. I asked them, what do you prefer? Would you prefer me to call you, or can we hop on a Zoom so I can meet you? And I always say, instead of saying, so we can meet, and I tell my team this if I'm three-waying, I say, never say to them, I really want you to meet Donna. She's such a rock star, right? I said, no, don't say that to them. Say to them, I really want Donna to meet you. So I ask them how they want to meet. You got to listen.
That's really good. I really want Donna to meet you. That's gold. Very good. Great posture there. What's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
Can I ask my grandson? No. Probably boards, because I've organized all of my old-fashioned training that used to be on my website. And I just love it. I just love it. It's so cool. The technology in this business has really changed.
Definitely. Aside from your book, which people can get on Amazon, right? And Barnes and Nobles. My mentor walks on water. Yes, we will put that link on the show notes page. So you can go to mlmnation.com or just go to amazon.com and it will be there. Aside from your book, what are 2 or 3 other books you could recommend?
Well, I really encourage people to get uh, get into their Bible. You know, people think it's so old fashioned, but I'm just also really loving this. It's called Divine Intelligence by Scott Hogel. And it's a wonderful daily, because we're in a business where we don't have a boss. So this is just a daily instruction. And I'm just really, really loving it. So this is kind of what I'm diving into now. And then, I'm also reading Jonathan Kahn right now, The Return of the Gods. This actually talks a little bit about the spiritual battle we're up against. But I like to mix things up. I love business books, and this is a really good one that I just started, You Owe You by Eric Thomas. So ignite your power, your purpose, and your way. So lots of fun tools out there. Readers are leaders. Thomas is, he just runs circles around me. He's a ferocious reader, my husband. So it's fun because we will be reading something different. And then oftentimes I feel like I've read a book because he's read a book. So I get to double up on all the books.
Donna, and here's the last question, the $1 million question. You ready?
Yes.
So imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one. So you didn't know family, you didn't know Thomas. Your contact list was 0, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do or the first place you go to build a network marketing business from scratch?
I would do exactly what I did when I started, but now I've got social media and now I've got everything that I know about the business. So I would say there are no secrets. There are no shortcuts. I wouldn't go out looking for a deal. I don't think that that's duplicatable. And I would just do what I did in the beginning of my career and allow myself to grow the business and grow my income. So probably a little bit different answer.
So where would you go meet people? Where would you go find people?
Where would I go meet people? Probably just how I do now, online and in person. I'm known for making friends everywhere I go in the restaurants. You know, I'll be with my kids. They'll go, Mom, you got to talk to everybody. So, yeah.
As we wrap up, any last words or advice? And then what's the best way listeners can connect with you?
At Mentor Donna Johnson, Instagram and Facebook. I'm just starting to build that new platform for my book. At Mentor Donna Johnson. And the book, actually, they can order it now, Simon, at Amazon or Barnes and Noble. And this has just been really, really fun being on today with you.
MLM Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you've been hanging out with Donna Johnson. So keep up the momentum. Head over to MLMNation.com. Click on the podcast tab and the show notes with all the nuggets of wisdom that Donna shared, including the links to her book and her social media profiles. Definitely follow her, check her out, and reach out to her. Hey, in order to be successful in life, in business, and in network marketing, you must help others. So Donna, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with MLM Nation. We're grateful to you, and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you, Simon.
Hey, MLM Nation, Simon Chan here with a recap of an awesome show from Donna Johnson. It's so awesome to have her back here, especially 8 years later. Time flies by so fast. I can't believe it's been 8 years. She was on episode 7. If you listen to the podcast, it's actually on the archives, because I think iTunes, the feed only lets us do the first 300. It's actually MLM Nation Archive 1. You can go check that out. I still remember, as we did it last month, she talked about her presentation. Very, very inspiring. So anyway, this was a little different episode. She talked about a lot about different things, about being in the wilderness, about selling your vision, how to be an influencer, the problems that are going on right now, and how you can be different. Like, for example, how to be an influencer, how to think different, how to be yourself. One of the things I thought was a big one was when she starts off, like, we have to be proud of our profession, right? We're MLM Nation. That's why someone asked me, like, why do you call it MLM Nation? Why it's such a, I was like, no, we should be proud of our profession. If we're not proud of our profession or trying to change, kind of like hide from it, then what would our prospect think from it, right? Because in reality, you can be, yeah, there's some changes with the pay plan, but at the end of the day, we're direct selling, we're multi-level, we're MLM. Be proud of what we have. And like my mentor always shared with me, if someone asks you, is this one of those MLM things? It's like, absolutely. What do you know about it? It's not like what you say, it's how you say it, the confidence you say it. So make sure, hey, be on the offensive, like Donna says, not on the defensive. So about influence, just show up for who you are, right? Tell people you don't need to lie about your income. You don't need to lie about it. The truth is good enough. You don't need to hype it. Just tell people you're excited. Hey, I'm so excited what I'm doing, and just keep showing up all the time. And even if you're not successful yet, you're stuck, right? Don't worry about the instant success. Fall in love. And I love what she talked about at the end was like, you have to wait. You have to wait until the paycheck catches up to the commitment, and going through the process, being consistent, doing something all the time, even on days when you don't feel like doing it. Another big aha moment was the community. Your product that you're selling is not just your product or service. The community, the personal growth, that's the real product, right? People out there want to have fun. They want to be part of something fun. I remember while building my team in the Philippines, I loved it because it was fun. Our team in Malaysia, we used to go out to eat afterwards. It was fun. That's the product, the relationships. It's not just your product and service, something that you're taking or using. As you talk about the worst moments, that's when we grow, right? We're either winning or we're learning. We're winning or we're learning. And there's sometimes the learning has to catch up until you have that win. But you have to be patient with that process. And great stuff here. A lot of other good nuggets here about your story, sharing your story and where you're going to go. Remember, you're not selling a product. We're talking about the community is important. That's part of the product. But you're really selling your vision and where you're going. And people are going to buy into that vision. Like if they be partnered with you, what would happen? What's the story you're going to tell? Right? If I partner with you, if I join you, what's going to happen to me? You got to be, how many of you are clear on that? If you're not clear on that, people are going to be like, oh, whatever. And even if you're not successful, every entrepreneur was not successful in the beginning. You're selling the future. You're selling what can happen. So great stuff here. And I love her quote. This is the quote that she said. I think it's from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or can't, either way, you're correct, right? Whether you think you can or cannot, either way, you're correct. So you might as well go out there and believe you can. If you have doubts that you can do it, then you're never going to make it. And I teach my boy this in sports. If you don't think you can hit the ball, you're not going to hit the ball. You don't think you can pitch well today, you're definitely not going to pitch well. You might as well just not even play. Whether you think you can or can't, either way, you're right. But you get that faith from inside, from prayer, from meditation, from visualizing, right? From seeing the vision of who you are, the story that you're telling yourself. Last thing I want to share with you, because I want you to listen to this again, is I love what you said. When you're setting up a three-way call, it's not like, I really want Donna to meet you. No, there's no posture. No, I'm sorry. I really want you to meet Donna. There'll be no posture, right? The prospect, why would I want to meet her? So no, I really want Donna to meet you. See, it's about the prospect. Now the prospect, whoa, someone wants to meet me? Sure, I'll meet this woman, right? I really want my upline to meet you. I really want Steve to meet you. I really want Joe to meet you. That switch could be huge. A lot of other great nuggets here, talking about asking them, how are you doing? What are your needs? What do you need support in? And then love how she customizes the training to help that person out. So great stuff. You can tell she's a legend. 36 years with the same company and has been one of the top income earners. Definitely go to the show notes page, check her out. Click on MLMNation.com, podcast, show notes right there. Follow her and also go check out her book. I'll put the link in the show notes book as well. All right, everyone. Hey, this is Simon Chen. I'm loud and proud to be part of this amazing profession. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And thanks again for Donna Johnson for, trusting me to be one of my first episodes way back in 2015. And then have her back on in 8 years, almost 8 years to the day. Something like that. 8 years, a little bit over 8 years and 1 month to the day we're doing this and sharing her journey and her experience and wisdom, how the industry has changed and what we need to do. So definitely go check her out. Hey, I'm out of here. By the way, last thing is if you These episodes are not free. Take a lot of my time, take a Donna's time. If you want me to get even more of these leaders like Donna Johnson, these legends on, please make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel and also subscribe on wherever you're listening to the podcast and leave a review. It will really mean a lot and will keep the show going. Anyway, thank you. Go out there, take action when you learn, and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless.